Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing an updated game room tour. So first, we'll start with the arcades. We got Tempest over there. We moved it kinda, I guess you'd say, in front of the door to the left to make room for Ridge Racer, which is the new arcade that we have. Probably the only new one since the last video, if I remember correctly. And I do have to say, this is probably the most fun one we have. I love it.
Definitely my most played in the last month.
Definitely. Then we got the class of 81. We got the Frogger. We got the legendary Pepsi Cooler. Then we got the original 4, Pac-Man, Galaga, Space Invaders, and Mortal Kombat 2. We've updated the signs on the wall. Previously, we just had this Galaga one and that arcade one. Now we've also got a Dig Dug and a Pac-Man. Now we think the only other thing missing is probably just some more signs and then a nice clock up top.
Been looking at Amazon or whatever and can't find anything that looks good, so maybe we can print one.
Maybe. So then up here, this is just basically the decoration area. I'll start off with the 3D prints. We got a Tesla charger. We got a Galaga arcade. A couple little game signs. Our polygonal Marios. A bunch of Nintendo 64 ends. Little Link over there. Arcade back there.
A Nintendo arcade machine.
And then you can see we got some amiibos over here, including my 2 favorite.
The Mario 30th.
We got a PlayStation mug, DK mug back there, some soda cans that are pretty cool.
A 3D print of the real Pepsi logo.
Yep, and a bottle. I think that would be a Coke bottle.
Yeah, it's like a vintage bottle. Got this Master Sword right here.
Yep, that was a cool 3D print. Just don't mind the back of it.
Yeah, the backside didn't come out.
So we got the front. So then we got the retro games. Start off with the NES.
Currently has Mario Bros. 3 in there.
We got the Super Nintendo. You got the Nintendo 64.
The PS1 right here. 2 memory cards in there.
You got a PlayStation 2. You gotta make a little controller stand for that.
We got 1 memory card.
Then we got the GameCube, also in need of a controller stand.
That one also has the memory card.
Then here's just some stuff, the NES Zapper, a third-party Atari paddle controller thingy, a couple PlayStation 2 controllers.
That's a DualShock PS1.
Oh yeah, that's the DualShock. This is a PS2 controller.
I believe it's the smoke.
Looks like a smoke see-through one. It's pretty cool. Got a red Nintendo 64 controller and a blue one.
The joysticks are like basically like new, so I don't like using them.
And then if you make your way over here, you've got the older TV, currently playing Super Mario Bros. 3. Below that, you've got the Atari. We also got
a third-party joystick. It works really well. Hyperkin. Yeah, it's Hyperkin.
Yeah, I definitely recommend that if you're looking for a third-party controller.
Got the 4-switch Atari.
And then you make your way to the bins down here, or drawers.
Got the PS1, or the second PS1, a Raspberry Pi, 3DS charger, and GBASP charger. I don't know where our second 3DS
The Raspberry
charger
Pi,
went, but
just to explain it a little bit. I think we made a video on it a long time ago.
oh yeah, that was a while ago.
But this plays basically all Nintendo. Yeah, NES, SNES, some Segas,
Game Boys.
Game Boy games.
You could probably put like PS1 and arcade on there.
Pretty cool.
I want to do that.
And down here,
this is where all the wires, wire management stuff, and cases are. We've got a Raspberry Pi controller in there.
Yep. It's like old bits and pieces of stuff, wires, little prototype controller stand.
I got some. This is an Atari Legacy PCB. I had to swap it out because ours broke. This is the broken one.
And a little
And
wire.
here's some controller dongles. I mean, light dongles for Frogger.
And over here, just some game cases. They come from the local game store, Retro Raven. If you live in Central Georgia, definitely check them out.
Oh, yeah. Alright. These are made by Bitbox. I
Yeah,
believe these
here
are
you can
just
take a
for
look.
NES. I don't know if you can fit Super Nintendo in there.
There's a website if you're interested. You can kind of see that.
We have one for Game Boy too.
And so that completes this side.
All the
of
retro
game
stuff.
room. The retro stuff, the arcades. And then you make your way over here to the more modern section. So here you got, not all modern, but Nintendo 64 controller with
Atomic Purple.
the controller stand, 3D printed. If you have a 3D printer, definitely make that. It's on Thingiverse. You got a PlayStation Lite, all the 3DS games we have.
Rocket League Collector's Edition card that came with the Switch.
And just a little, I forget exactly what it's made out of, but a little magnetic frame around that.
And down here we have our small PS2 library and our only Xbox game, the legendary Sneak King.
Yep.
Here it is.
Pretty cool game.
I've never played it.
PlayStation 5 thank you card because we got one early. Some PlayStation 3 games, PlayStation 5 games, PlayStation 4 game. Then over here, we got Atari games, Nintendo Switch games, Wii U games, Wii games, current issues with the PlayStation 5,
I hate the Hey PlayStation thing.
Yeah,
It
me
just never
too.
works and always goes off.
Wii games,
Alright.
and then all the Game Boy games.
Mine is Tetris, which is in the color.
And that is a little 3D printed stand for all of them. It's pretty cool. If you have a printer, make one of those. It really helps.
Yeah.
Then over here, you got the NES library.
Most of them have, here's Mario 3's for example, the sleeve, original.
Yep. We found them cheap at a game store and just bought a whole ton of them.
Yep, I had to clean them out, of course. But
Yeah. Then over here,
let's see, since last time we've gotten Dr. Mario, Rad Racer, and Ice Hockey.
Ice Hockey, yeah.
I believe that's all. And then Mario
I think
3
so.
is in the console.
Over here, we got a couple Super NES games. Star Fox and Super Mario World.
Over here is our PS1 library. We got a brand new copy of Final Fantasy Anthology, which has 6 and 5.
A couple other Final
And then,
Fantasy games.
Here's 7.
Gran Turismo, the original. It's a very fun game. A couple other
Need
games
for
over
Speed,
here.
Crash 2, Crash 1, Cool Borders 2, and the PS1 demo disc are only one. And this Final Fantasy 7 is the misprint copy. Not too rare, but a cool item to have.
And then over here, make your way down to the last shelf. Got another little game case.
That one's for Game Boy and Game Boy
And over
Advance.
here you got one of my favorite games, Waluigi's Taco Stand.
Let's see.
It's blue.
Yeah, all Luigi's Taco Stand. Amazing game, 10 out of 10. Would recommend to any N64 owner, if you can even find one.
And over
Okay.
here, we got the Nintendo 64 drawer,
Also got some Game Boy cases and stuff.
including some games. The Nintendo 64.
I recently reorganized it to put my most played games in front and Super Nintendo on the left,
Let's see.
or right.
Arena
Ocarina.
here. Or 64. This is Donkey Kong 64 from Blockbuster. It's probably sold off when they went out of business, if it were my guess.
Yeah, it happened to a bunch of their games.
And you got a couple Super NES games, including Mario's Missing.
This right here is a 10 out of 10 experience, phenomenal Mario game. Any Super Nintendo owner should play this amazing game.
Then you make your way over here. You've got a couple more Atari games, including Donkey Kong, Pole Position Dig Dug.
A very bad condition Donkey Kong at that.
You got
Majora's Mask back there. I like to keep it safe. And NES Classic Edition controller, transparent blue PS1 memory card.
And over here is It's the 64 thing to get the expansion pack that I 3D printed.
It doesn't work great, but
It works fine. You got them just switching Wii stuff and PlayStation 2
including the
stuff.
Wii wheel.
And over here you got the PlayStation 3 with the remote. We really never even use that. Over here, Wii U.
Which we also never really use.
Wii Classic Edition, Switch. There's some controllers back there and stuff.
And
then over here,
in this is where we keep like the Arcade1Up instruction books and manuals and stuff.
got
And
a
then-
black Wii.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, that's just a bunch of...
some other stuff.
Oh, there's a
that we never
GameCube
use.
controller in there.
Yeah, that GameCube
I gotta
controller.
clean that thing out. It's pretty dirty.
Then you make your way up here to the new stuff.
Yeah.
You got yourself a PlayStation 5 stuff. It's pretty cool. Then over here, a little display stand. You got your PlayStation 5 headphones. A mini 3D printed PlayStation 5. Doesn't actually work. And that's it for over here. Over here, we got some handheld stuff and a couple boxes. Starting off with the original Atari box.
I believe it's the one that went with the
Probably with the
Light
heavy
Sixer, if you know what that is.
Here we got a complete in box Super Mario Bros. 3. Complete in box Alleyway.
Well,
for the
no
Game Boy.
manual, but
No manual, yeah. Game Boy Advance SP box in
that one's complete.
pretty much perfect condition.
Oops.
For whatever reason, that one fell.
It comes with all. It came with all the promos and stuff too. Pretty cool item to own.
And you got yourself a couple Atari boxes.
Both with the manuals.
Those are very cheap on
Oh,
eBay if you
Come
want
on,
to buy
stay
one.
up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not. I don't
For whatever
think
reason,
it's
it
gonna
won't stay up anymore.
Yeah, just leave it.
And you got both the Game Boy colors. This is the Kiwi one. This is the, I think it was officially called the Gold Silver Toys R Us edition or something. I think it was Toys R Us exclusive.
Here's the GBA.
And then
Mario Advance.
you'd like to see the top of it. There you go.
Pretty good condition.
Then a Nintendo 3DS. Officially new Nintendo 3DS XL.
We have two of them, but yeah, there's one.
And just for extra stuff, got this box full of things that came with the Game Boy Advance SP on eBay. Some boxes,
That's where all the manuals
game
are too.
holders, some other games, manuals, more manuals. Then over here
Right
is
here I have this
the
sealed
only
copy of Corvette for the PS2 that I found at an antique store. I overpaid for it, but I mean, it's our only sealed game.
And then the final thing we own, the owner's manual to an Atari.
Also in really good condition.
We hope you liked this little area too. And that wraps it up for the whole game room and collection tour. We really hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.